Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat?
They should be pissed off. I'm pissed off. The fans should be pissed off. The people in New Orleans, the people of Louisiana, no one should be happy. And I think this city deserves a winner. They know what winning football looks like. And, it's our job to bring that back. And my message is this. I can't promise a lot. I can promise passion. I can promise fight. And I can tell you that team's going to go out there every Sunday. And that's going to be clear that we're going to have a team that's full of passion and a team that's full of fighters. That I can promise you. Now the football's got to get better. The execution's got to get better. But we're not going to lack. We're not going to lack those two things. We're not going to be boring to watch. That I can promise you.
Darren Rizzi, Saints interim head coach Darren Rizzi, taking over for Dennis Allen. If you're not familiar with Darren Rizzi, a coach and lifer, he's 54 years old. Started his coaching career as a GA at Colgate back in 1993. Stops at New Haven Northeastern. Back to New Haven. He coached special teams at Rutgers. He was the head coach at Rhode Island for a season in 2008. Then into the NFL. 2009 with the Miami Dolphins as an assistant special teams coach. He was the special teams coordinator with the Dolphins from 2010 to 2016. And then they added the associate head coach title there in Miami in 17-18. Joined the Saints in 2019, and he's been in New Orleans ever since as the special teams coordinator and under Dennis Allen as the assistant head coach as well. So a coaching lifer, save for the one season at Rhode Island where he was a head coach. He's been mostly a special teams assistant, but you can tell, man, he's going to bring some energy into the job that desperately needs it. He's in a no-win situation. He's got the roster is still old. The offensive line is still a sieve. The defensive secondary is still injured. You're not going to be great. But you're going to play harder, and you're going to have a chance to win some games, and he's going to get you to the home stretch, and if nothing else, it's going to be a great opportunity to evaluate the guys on this roster and get a look at some of the guys for the future to see, what this is going to look like moving forward. Now, Rizzi did say that the team here moving forward is going to make some changes.
Listen, John, we're going to look at everything. As I told the team this morning, everybody and everything is going to get reevaluated and reevaluated because right now the product is not acceptable. So everything down from the schedule to how we do things to the active players to the daily schedule, how we practice, all those different things. And so really haven't made any final decisions on all that, but a wise man and the Hall of Fame coach once told me if something's got to change and something's got to change. So we're gonna make some changes.
What does that look like? Will it be on the field? Don't know. And look, you typically you hear about it all the time, even though it's just very new here. The Saints haven't seen an interim situation since 1996 when Jim Mora resigned. In 1980 was the last time the Saints fired a coach in season with Dick Nolan. They started 0-12, fired Dick Nolan. That was the one-win Saints. They finished 1-15, and then, of course, drafted George Rogers first overall. But you typically get a breath of life into an organization, into a team when you fire the head coach. It gets everyone's attention. It's a new voice. It's a new sound. There's new energy. It's a fresh start. You understand that the path you were on, you've now diverted. Your goals have changed. The reality has changed, but let's see how it goes. Put your trust in the new guy that's up there. He was asked specifically about Derek Carr, if Derek Carr would continue to start at quarterback for the Saints.
The truth is, today, with everything that's been going on, we haven't had one personnel discussion. That's just, I can get back to you down the road, but we really haven't gone there yet. But I got to be honest with you, there's no reason in my mind to think that Derek Carr won't be the quarterback this Sunday.
He did say that Joe Woods will call the defense. Clint Kubiak will remain the offensive coordinator. So, Dennis Allen was calling the defense, even though Joe Woods was the defensive coordinator, but those stay in place. He was asked, number 7, if he would still continue to handle the special teams duties.
I think Phil's going to take on maybe a little larger role. I'm still going to have a big hand in the special teams aspect. I think we're going to bring in another quality control, try to take some of the workload off of my hands. So I think we're bringing another guy in. I think that might get announced here the next day or two, and we'll kind of look at the rest of the staff. But I'll still have a huge hand in the special teams. I think you guys know that I was already currently doing most of the game management stuff, and so that'll stay the same.
So just, a lot of this is more just not formatics, but it's filling out what the organization is going to look like for the remainder of this season. You're 2-7. You had 9 games to go and a bye, so you get 10 weeks. And it's how do you finish as strong as possible? Now, I also understand that if you're a Saints fan, like I am, I'm a media member. I try to give you objective opinions, but I'm also a fan. I'm also looking at this, realizing this is a lost season, and I want the Saints to have as high a draft pick as possible. I want this team to be in the best position possible to draft their franchise quarterback. So I would love to see this team land somewhere in the top 5. As it's right now, they're projected to have the 3rd pick, but you're halfway through the season. A lot's going to happen. I don't know that I see this team winning any more than 3 games the remainder of the way. Just very candidly, when you look at this schedule, it's still the NFL and you still have good players, but you're at home this week against Atlanta. Home game, new life. Falcons are playing well. They're 6-3 overall. But that's a team that, you held them without an offensive touchdown the last time you played them. And you lost, but you held them without an offensive touchdown. Now you're at home. Rivalry game, we'll see. Cleveland, it's a winnable football game in your building. The Browns looked good under Jameis last week, but yesterday they got walloped by the Chargers. That's in your building. You can win that game. You're home against the Rams, who all of a sudden are surging. They're back to 500. That's going to be really tough. I don't know that you win that one. At the Giants, I don't think the Giants are very good, but I don't think the Saints are very good. You're going to go play a December game at the Meadowlands. We'll see. Home against Washington. At Green Bay. You can beat the Raiders at home. And then you finish at Tampa, who very likely could be playing for a playoff spot. Tampa's 500 right now at 4-4. But Cleveland, the Giants, the Raiders, I think you can win those games. I'm not sure about any of the other ones. So, see how it plays out. This team ends up somewhere around 5 wins, 4 or 5 wins. Where does that land you in the draft? That's kind of what we're keeping an eye on. But a lot of it's going to depend on how these guys play the rest of the way, and Darren Rizzi was asked that. What was the mood in the locker room like after Dennis Allen was fired?
Listen, I think it's a tough day for everybody. I don't think anybody envisions walking in here in week 9 and there being a coaching change. At the same time, I think I expect and I anticipate, and my expectation is the guys are going to circle the wagons and we're going to rally the troops. And listen, I had a lot of positive conversations today. I don't think that we're in a situation where anybody's lost hope. Listen, I met with the leaders of the team. I think it was a very positive conversation. I expect the leaders to lead. We got to go out. We got to execute better in all 3 phases, and we got to be more accountable. Like I said, locker room wide. But I've touched just about every player today in some way, shape, or form, and I feel like we have a positive attitude right now.
Saints, quick turnaround here. New staff, not a new staff, but a new man in charge of the staff. New responsibilities on staff, a new head coach, and yes, Saints will welcome in Atlanta this week for a rivalry game with the Falcons coming in. See if they can snap this 7-game losing streak. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.